On this channel, especially lately, I'm always talking about using AI as an English learning tool. But does that mean I think human teachers are not good? Or you don't need ever an native English speaking tutor to help you improve your English fluency? I've never said that. In fact, it's kind of a complex, nuanced topic. Something worth really thinking about if you're serious about taking your English fluency to the next level. You need to know why you would or may decide not to use or have, for example, a one-on-one tutor. So let's really explore this in this video. And we'll start with human teachers. I'm one. Hello. I've been teaching English for about 15 years, nearly 15 years. So a long time. And I've helped a lot of students improve their English in a lot of different situations. Teaching one-on-one, group lessons, live streaming, courses, videos, you name it, I've done it. What is it that, let's say, a good human English teacher can do that AI might not be as good at, right? That's what I want to start with. And I think the first is a very human thing that I'm not sure will ever be replaced. And it is that they really, really get you, or can. If you have a good teacher who really cares about your progress, they can understand you as a person and continue to try to understand you better and better. We can develop a friendship with them. I'm not sure if we can ever really be friends with AI. Some people would disagree with that. But I think that human bond is incredibly valuable, right? I have many friends who started off as students. I was talking to one. I had a student at an English training center back in China. I hadn't talked to him in like 8 years. He texted me the other day, and it was like 8 years hadn't passed. That human connection. Oh, how's this guy? How's that guy? What have you been up to, right? There's that thing, that human thing, which isn't just about, here, let me correct your English, right? It's about a connection, getting to know each other. And that, I think, is not something AI will ever fully replace. The other thing is, if your teacher, your tutor is very experienced, they know how to adapt because they understand your goals. And they can challenge you in the right ways. And if something changes, they can make a change, even if you didn't know that they did that. An experienced teacher knows how to keep you right on the edge between too difficult and too easy, right there where you're challenged and just outside your comfort zone, to push you and take you in the directions that you need to go, focusing on your weaker areas, spending less time on things that you're already good at and more time on things that you need to improve, without really making it feel like that. Now, right now, today's AI, it can kind of do that, but it takes a lot of prompting and instructions. And so that can be a kind of tiring thing. If you're always prompting, you're kind of behind the wheel when you're using AI, and you have to make all of those decisions most of the time. Whereas a teacher, again, a good teacher, can guide you more, can be a real guide, and always keep you just at the edge of your comfort zone. And that can help you improve faster. And it includes not just having a chat like you would with an AI tool like ChatGPT, but also, sometimes meeting for a coffee if they live where you live, or chatting, texting sometimes, phone calls. Maybe you have a regular video call with them if it's a private teacher, right? That can be a very valuable thing, not just for that human connection, but also because they know where you need to go next, and that can be a powerful thing. Now, I keep saying a good teacher, and it's important to mention that. I've trained, at this point, probably hundreds of English teachers, to be honest with you. And so there's one thing I know. Not all English teachers are created equal. It is, in fact, hard to find a really good one. There are more bad ones than good ones, in my opinion. And so you have to go to a place where there's a way of finding good ones, right? Find a place where you can find a really good teacher that has already maybe gained some good reviews, that has been vetted or checked or has a lot of experience, has good comments from other students, right? Now, I talk about using AI tools all the time. That must mean I think AI is a great way to learn English. Well, yeah. But I want to be very clear. I have never said to the exclusion of other things, ever. So it's important to, I think, have a broad mindset about your learning journey. Don't say, oh, this is the answer. Here's the solution. I do this thing to improve my English and nothing else. In my opinion, that's the wrong approach. The right approach is to have a wide view and say, I'll do this. This is useful, right? This helps me, and I'll read these books. And so instead of going in one direction, find the things that help you and do them. Multiple things. And that may include an English teacher. One thing I didn't mention that a human teacher will be really great at is pronunciation. Right now, as I'm saying this, AI is pretty crap at helping you with pronunciation. To be fully honest, it's not great. Can't hear what you're saying. It's just reading the phonemes, right? It can't. So a human teacher has ears and they can hear you. And if they're experienced, they can give you accurate feedback to help you improve your pronunciation. But AI is also good at some things. And that's important too. The reason I talk about it so much is that it's a new emerging thing. So that's pretty exciting. There are all kinds of new tools coming out that I like to test out. But I want to be very clear, that does not mean that, okay, now just use AI tools. They're good at, I sort of use the treadmill analogy, helping you practice, right? Giving you feedback and corrections based on what you say, helping with conversation skills, right? To people who say, I never use AI because it's not a human. Well, that's too far in the other extreme, in my opinion. Do both. A treadmill is not a real road, and yet it's a machine that helps you move your legs fast that then might help you train for a real race on a real road, right? I like that analogy. AI is kind of like that. It would be a mistake to never use this thing. A treadmill you can put inside. If it's raining and you don't want to run outside, you can still run. That's good. Well, AI is great for that kind of thing. And it's available 24/7, right? 24/7. You can have a conversation. You can get useful feedback and legitimately good corrections. If you know how to prompt, right? You use prompts well, and you have a system for that, right? Maybe a series of prompts that you use to practice conversations, to prepare for an exam, whatever. AI can be a very powerful tool. And that downside that I mentioned of needing to sit at the steering wheel and be in charge, while that maybe isn't always how you want to feel, right? So sometimes it's good to have somebody else give you a study plan and to have a teacher who can guide you. The fact that it is fully customizable, right? That you are in charge, that you create the prompts that you use when you work with AI tools, that can be an advantage too. It's a lot of responsibility, but sometimes being fully customizable is an extremely useful thing, especially if you don't mind working with prompts, right? And iterating and finding the ones that really work for you. Now, the other thing is also kind of a double-edged sword, and that is judgment. So an AI isn't sitting back going, oh, what a dum-dum trying to speak English. Neither is a good teacher, by the way. If you think teachers are sitting back going, I can't believe I can't believe you said that. No. Good teachers have no judgment, make as many mistakes as you like. They don't care. They're not sitting there judging you. But okay, there is still the fear of that because you're talking to another person. Well, there's definitely none of that if you're talking to AI, right? No real judgment even can happen in the sort of personal judgment sense. However, I would argue that while it is good to practice like that, sometimes having that kind of judgment is not a bad thing. That's a little pressure that can push you a little bit. Being in real life social situations with real human beings and being able to interact and have conversations with real humans is also very important. Getting used to that slight anxiety of people looking at you and you having to say what you think. So I would say both are good. It's just a matter of balance. Do both. Practice without having that judgment and practice a lot so you can build muscle memory, right? And fix things and, get feedback. But then also find a social outlet. Practice with a real teacher. Join a book club. That's important too, because that's the you, human being, talking to, with, and in front of other human beings, if that makes sense. So those are my thoughts on this AI versus human teacher thing. Life is not that simple. Life is complicated. You don't have to choose. You don't have to say this or that. You can say this and that, or neither this nor that. You have to make choices and find the things that help you, and what helps you might not be the same thing that helps someone else. But I believe it's important for you to think through these things for yourself, to find those things that work so that you can actually make progress. Okay? So whatever you do, think about it. Try stuff. Check out tools, platforms. Do stuff. Don't just sit back and then decide one thing that you're going to do finally. That's a recipe for not succeeding. Find the things. Be active. Don't worry if something doesn't work. It's okay. That's a success. Hey, this didn't work for me. I'm not going to maybe do this as much in the future. That's okay. All right. So let me know what you think about this this interesting thing of human teachers versus AI teachers. And I don't even know if I should use that word versus. That might be the wrong word. All right, that is it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.